They say the Sherpa people are hospitable. That's an understatement. You arrive, gasping for air like a goldfish on a carpet, and they offer you tea. Not just any tea. This is butter tea. Salted, churned with yak butter. It's an acquired taste. But you drink it. You drink it because refusing is like spitting in your grandma's prize casserole. And frankly, up here you don't want to offend anyone who knows how to survive above 15,000 feet. Their welcome isn't about 5-star amenities. Forget Wi-Fi codes and little chocolates on your pillow. Here, a welcome means a warm smile, a warmer fire, and a willingness to share what little they have. It's genuine. It's disarming. Especially when you've just trekked for days, feeling like a human wrecking ball. They offer the tea, a seat by the fire, and a look that says, "You made it." Now try not to break anything, especially yourself. The first thing that hits you isn't just the altitude or the stunning, terrifying beauty of the place. It's the sheer unadulterated of it. No filters here, no carefully curated Instagram feeds. Just life, raw and unfiltered, served up with a cup of salty, buttery tea. And if you're lucky, they might even offer you a second cup. Welcome to the Upper Khumbu Valley, or as I like to call it, the place where your lungs come to die a slow, agonizing death. The air up here is thin, so thin you start to question basic physics. Walking to the outhouse feels like running a marathon, uphill, in concrete boots. The locals, of course, glide around like mountain goats on a caffeine buzz. They were born into this. They've got lungs like blacksmith's bellows and blood thicker than your average politician's excuses. It's humbling and deeply, deeply annoying when you're bent over, wheezing like an old accordion. The landscape, oh, it's just casually epic. Jagged peaks stab at a sky so blue it hurts your eyes. Glaciers, ancient and indifferent, carve their way through the valleys. It's the kind of beauty that makes you feel small, insignificant, like a speck of dust on God's snooker table. Everest itself looms a silent white behemoth. It's always there, watching, judging your life choices. Especially that third plate of you had last night. Probably wasn't the best idea before attempting that slight incline which now feels like K2. This isn't just remote, this is off the grid in a way your trendy Brooklyn mate with his solar-powered yurt can only dream about. Forget your 9 to 5. Or your 5 to 9 if you're one of those Silicon Valley types. The workday here starts before the sun is even considered dragging itself over the colossal peaks. There's no hitting the snooze button when your alarm clock is a rooster with a vendetta, or the urgent need to milk a grumpy yak. Daily life is a relentless cycle of tasks essential for survival. Tending to animals, yaks, zopkios, maybe a few hardy chickens that haven't frozen solid. Fetching water, which might be a significant trek to a communal spring that isn't currently a block of ice. Chores are not optional, they are the rhythm of life. Planting and harvesting potatoes, barley, or buckwheat in short, unforgiving growing seasons. Collecting firewood, a task that takes people further and further afield as local supplies dwindle. Weaving, mending, cooking. There's no Deliveroo, no TaskRabbit. If something needs doing, you do it. Or your family does it. Or your neighbor helps, knowing you'll return the favor. It's a world away from quiet quitting, or debating the merits of a 4-day work week. Here, the work week is 7 days, and the only quitting involves collapsing into bed after a day of actual physical labor. Social structure? It's tight-knit. Everyone knows everyone. Let's talk food. Because let's face it, that's what keeps the machine running. And up here, the machine needs serious fuel. Don't come expecting artisanal sourdough or kale smoothies. The Himalayan diet is built on a foundation of what can be grown in thin soil at high altitude or what can be coaxed from a yak. Potatoes are king. Boiled, mashed, fried, turned into pancakes called. If there's a way to prepare a potato, they've mastered it. It's the spud, elevated to an art form born of necessity. You'll eat more potatoes than you thought humanly possible, and you'll be grateful for every single one. Then there's roasted barley flour. Sounds thrilling, I know, but it's the cornerstone of the diet for many. Mixed with that ubiquitous butter tea, it becomes a kind of dough, filling, portable. Probably tastes like, well, roasted barley flour and salty yak butter. It's the original energy bar, minus the fancy packaging and the extortionate price tag. And the lentil soup and rice combo that powers much of Nepal. Up here it's a hearty, warming staple. You'll see porters wolfing down mountains of it and then hoisting loads that would make a pack mule weep. Meat is a luxury. Yaks provide milk, butter, cheese and wool. Section 5. All together now, the original social network. Forget Facebook, Instagram, or whatever newfangled app is currently vying for your fleeting attention. The social network here is analog. It's flesh and blood. It's built on proximity, necessity, and generations of shared history. In these isolated villages nestled high in the Himalayas, community isn't just a nice idea, it's the bedrock of existence. You rely on your neighbors for everything, from borrowing a cup of sugar, or more likely yak butter, to helping rebuild a wall damaged by a rockfall. There's no calling a handyman. Your neighbor is the handyman, and you'll be their handyman next week. Social structures are often clan-based, with strong family ties dictating many aspects of life. Elders are revered, their accumulated wisdom a vital resource. Monasteries and lamas often play a central role, not just in spiritual life but in education and community guidance. Children are raised by the entire village, a chorus of aunts, uncles, and assorted cousins keeping a watchful eye. It's a far cry from the nuclear family barricaded in a suburban fortress, communicating via text message from different rooms. Here, life is lived out in the open, shared spaces fostering a constant, unavoidable interaction. Think about dispute resolution. No lengthy court battles or armies of lawyers billing by the minute. Disagreements are often settled by community leaders or within the family, guided by custom and a desire to maintain harmony. After all, you can't exactly unfriend someone you're going to see every day for the rest of your life, especially when they might be the only person who knows how to fix your leaky roof before the monsoon hits. Grudges are a luxury few can afford when collective survival depends on cooperation. It's a system that values reconciliation over retribution, a concept some of our more advanced societies could learn a thing or two from. Daily life is interwoven with these social bonds. Work is often communal, whether it's harvesting crops, herding livestock, or undertaking a building project. Celebrations, religious festivals, births, marriages, and deaths all are community affairs, marked by shared rituals, food, and support. Traditions up here aren't quaint little affectations trotted out for tourists. They are the lifeblood of the community, the invisible threads connecting past, present, and future. They are as much a part of the landscape as the prayer flags fluttering on every pass, sending their silent supplications into the wind. Buddhism, deeply infused with ancient Bon animistic beliefs, shapes the worldview. Mountains are sacred, lakes are home to spirits. Respect for nature isn't a trendy eco-slogan, it's a fundamental tenet of survival, passed down through generations. Ignoring these beliefs? Not a good idea. The mountains have long memories. Festivals are a big deal. Think less Coachella, more ancient ritual with a serious spiritual punch. Mani Rimdu, for example, is a vibrant, masked dance drama performed by monks depicting the victory of Buddhism over the old Bon gods. It's days of chanting, elaborate costumes, and communal feasting. It's a spectacle, sure, but it's also a profound reaffirmation of faith and cultural identity. These events punctuate the hard agricultural calendar, offering moments of collective joy, spiritual renewal, and a chance to drink a significant amount of, and of course, more butter tea. It's always there, watching, waiting. Daily rituals are woven into the fabric of life. The morning offering of incense, the spinning of prayer wheels, sending mantras out into the ether, the careful circumambulation of chortens and mani walls, always clockwise. These aren't empty gestures. They are active engagements with the spiritual world, a way of maintaining balance and harmony in a place where imbalance can have serious consequences. Let's play a game. It's called Perspective. You're stressing because your oat milk flat white isn't perfectly frothed. Your counterpart in a remote Khumbu village is stressing because a snow leopard might have developed a taste for their yaks. You're annoyed because the Wi-Fi is a bit sluggish. They're annoyed because the only bridge across a raging torrent has just been washed away, cutting them off from the next village and, more importantly, the only place to trade for salt. It's all relative, isn't it? Except some relatives are clearly living on a different planet of concerns. Consider your daily commute. A packed train maybe. Traffic jams. The horror. Their commute? A treacherous mountain path, possibly covered in ice with a sheer drop on one side. The only traffic jam might be a herd of yaks taking their sweet time. Your idea of a tough day at the office involves back-to-back Zoom calls. Theirs involves hauling a 40-kilogram load of supplies up a near vertical ascent, in thin air, fueled by potatoes and sheer willpower. Suddenly, Karen from accounting doesn't seem so terrifying, does she? We obsess over organic, gluten-free, paleo, keto. They eat what's available, what keeps them alive. Their food is, by default, organic, grown without pesticides, because who's going to carry pesticides up a mountain? It's farm to table in its most literal sense. Your biggest adventure this week might be trying a new artisanal donut shop. Theirs might be not getting lost in a whiteout while searching for lost livestock. It's a different scale of drama, a different definition of challenge. Our carefully curated experiences versus their daily uncurated existence. Life in the high Himalayas was never a walk in the park, or a gentle stroll through a rhododendron forest unless you're clinging on for dear life. But now, new challenges are knocking at their stone doorways. Climate change is a stark reality here. Glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, a direct threat to their water supply and agriculture. Meltwater lakes threaten to burst, unleashing floods. Modernity is a double-edged sword. Better access to medicine and education can improve lives. Youngsters dream of a life less arduous. The pull of the outside world is strong, but this means erosion of traditional skills and culture. The old ways risk being forgotten. Tourism brings money and jobs, but also pollution and pressure on resources. Cultural dissonance and resentment can arise. Local economies change, not always positively. So, after the breathless trek, the butter tea assaults, the glimpse into a life so profoundly different from our own, what do we take away? Besides a desperate craving for a decent pizza and a hot shower, is there some profound wisdom to be gleaned from these hardy folk, or are we just romanticizing a life of incredible hardship? Probably a bit of both. There's their resilience, for a start, the sheer tenacity to not just survive but to carve out a life, a culture, a community, in a place that seems actively designed to kill you. It's humbling. It makes your first world problems look a bit pathetic. Complaining about a delayed flight when these people deal with landslides is a matter of course. It's a useful recalibration of what tough really means. Maybe we could all do with a bit more of that stoicism, that ability to just get on with it no matter how ludicrously unfair the universe seems to be. Then there's their connection. To the land, to each other, to something bigger than themselves. In our hyper-individualized, digitally mediated world, we've lost a lot of that. We're connected to everyone and no one, all at once. Up there, connection is tangible. It's vital. It's woven into the daily rhythm of life. Maybe there's a lesson in that, about the importance of community, of shared purpose, of looking out for one another. Not because a self-help guru told you to, but because your life and theirs literally depends on it. Radical stuff, I know. Preserving their culture isn't about turning them into a living museum for our anthropological amusement. It's about respecting their right to choose their own future, to adapt on their own terms. And maybe, just maybe, learning something from their deep understanding of sustainability, of living within limits, of finding value in things beyond material wealth. They're not saints. They're human beings, living extraordinary lives in an extraordinary place. And if you're lucky enough to spend time in their shadow, you might just haul back down the mountain something more valuable than a few photos. A slightly altered perspective.